Welcome to Uniquely Civil War, a production of the George Tyler Moore Center for the Study of the Civil War at Shepherd University.
Welcome to Uniquely Civil War. I'm Dennis Frye. Sometimes the Civil War didn't occur during the Civil War. I'll explain. Uniquely Civil War today focuses on an artifact, a very, very unique artifact. I have with me today a really close friend who I've known for many years, Richard Clem. Richard, what do you have in that case?
Well, Denny, here's a hand-carved wooden cane that I came across several years ago. The inscriptions on that cane are remarkable, especially the one referring to Stonewall Jackson.
Well, who made this?
This was cut by Henry Clay Hebb, who lived near the Potomac River. And Henry was born in 1844, died in 1910. And through my research, I've discovered about 20 of these canes that he had carved. And what he done, he carved the background and raised the letters. There's 4 inscriptions on each cane. Canes range from California to Pennsylvania.
Well, let me ask you a question. How did he get this? What's that cane made out of, and where did it come from?
This cane is made of cedar. It came from a sapling from the Antietam battlefield. All of Henry's canes came off the battlefield. They were small, like saplings.
And didn't you mention to me that he actually was injured? Tell me about that injury and then how he came to become a craftsman.
Okay, around the age of 45, Henry and his brother were cutting firewood back along the Potomac River, not too far from his home. And they had a load of logs on a wagon, and the wagon broke. It was jacked up with what they call a screw jack. Henry crawled back under the wagon, tried to repair it, and the screw jack broke and cut him across the back. And he remained in a wheelchair the rest of his life. He never walked after that.
But did he know that he had this talent, this skill? I mean, did he make any canes prior to this injury?
As far as I know, according to dates that's on the canes, he never started carving until he's sitting in a wheelchair.
Huh.
Now I like to say he turned a scar into a star. And he's quite an artist. And there's no 2 inscriptions alike. Most of them are pertaining to the Civil War, a lot of them to the Battle of Antietam. He has one that's got all the presidents that were assassinated and the dates. He's got the battleship Maine that's rode up in Savannah Harbor and dated.
Now this one's of particular interest because this one deals with Stonewall Jackson. What's the one line talk about here with regard to what he's writing about Stonewall Jackson, and how does that relate to his family?
Okay, I'll read the inscription. It's got General Stonewall Jackson ate his breakfast at the Hebb farmhouse the morning of September the 17th, 1862. Apparently Jackson was near the farmhouse the morning of the battle. In my opinion, he was checking the fords over the Potomac River in case they had to make a hasty retreat. So Jackson never trusted anyone, only God. And my theory, just a theory, early that morning, he was checking out the Potomac for fords across the river. And they were coming back up towards the Dunker Church, where his command was stationed. And they probably saw light on in the farmhouse, probably a kerosene lamp, and just stopped in, and he was offered breakfast. Through all my research, I find this is accurate. Jackson is actually at that farmhouse.
Well, now, Hebb was at the farmhouse too, right? I mean, the person who carved this cane, Henry Clay Hebb, met Jackson that morning.
Yes.
At his home at that farmhouse. Is that correct?
That's correct. Henry was never married, and I figured by the time Jackson was there in 1862, he'd have been around 18 years of age. And Jackson must have made an impression on him, because years later, in 1903, he still remembered and carved it on this piece of cedar that Jackson was there.
Sometimes you can touch the Civil War, literally. Hebb, the artist, didn't fight in that war, but it surrounded him. It engulfed him. He met players, key players from that war, including Jackson, General Stonewall Jackson. and he memorialized General Jackson in his own way, making this cane from the Antietam battlefield uniquely Civil War.